it has been said before, and it is definitely true that hindsight is 2020. And that is why we're having this special advisor video academy, Retirement Done Right, with a unique spelling and a tribute to our guest in the hot seat, Lynne Wright. She is on her runway to retirement. In some ways, I think she's finding it hard to let go, and in others, she'll tell you it is high time to step out of her role as an advisor running a business. She is the founder of Wright Wealth Management of Raymond James. And just like all of you, she has talked to clients for decades about retirement. And in some ways, Lynne, do you think it's a little harder to face it yourself?
It has been harder than I imagined. You know, I not this happened. I'll tell you this in my video, but I advised clients to retire in their 50s and early 60s, and here I am pushing 70, and I'm still on that runway. It was hard for me to let go. It's the transition, and having the transition started and moving along has helped me personally progress through acceptance and actually embracing it. If you had talked to me in January of 2022, I was very resistant and I didn't want to let go. I mean, this was a business that I built. I did not want to let go. And it was kind of painful to see the clients working with my successors as their primary advisors. And I thought, wait a minute, I've been working with you for 30 years and now you want to talk to Amanda? But I also realized that's exactly what I did want. So I've watched that progress, and it's enabled me to let go of the reins. It's enabled me to turn it over. It's enabled me to actually enjoy my life more too.
So when you decided it was definitely time to turn over those reins, so Lynne came to us knowing she wanted to record a message for clients to let them know, because we all know that video is a great way to make that personal connection and give a personal message. And it was an emotional time for Lynne. I remember talking with her to work on this script with her, and I automatically just felt her love for this profession, her love for her clients. So we first want to start by showing a little bit of her video, how it turned out.
I've always given you my full attention and my full heart, and this message is going to be no different. I'm not going to lie, I've recorded this a few times now to get a clean take because it's been emotional for me. We counsel you to retire in your 50s or 60s, and we've been honored to help you do that. Well, guess what? I'm nearing 70. So it's time to take some of my own advice. When I started this business nearly 40 years ago, I wasn't sure I would make it. I started from nothing and built a thriving business that I love, helping people I truly care about plan for their futures. Now it's time to embark on my new future. But just as we put a plan in place for you, we've done the same here, behind the scenes. A decade ago, we started this transition for Amanda and Megan to take the reins of Wright Wealth Management. And that planning will continue for a few more years. I'm not leaving today or tomorrow, but when I do, I know you'll be in the best hands.
Financial planning is a lifelong plan. That's why Megan and I are honored to be able to offer you and your family that service for many more decades to come. It's an emotional transition for us as well. Can't tell you how many hours I've spent sitting with Lynne in her office, planning alongside her. She's been my boss, my mentor, and my friend. We're a family. That's why we're taking the same great care for our family's future, just as we do for yours.
We all have the same level of commitment to you, and we will always put your interests first. That's why there will be zero interruption in our level of service. Lynne will still have an advisory role for a few more years. And frankly, we're glad to get to see her face a little while longer. Even after that, we know where she lives.
We have clients who are about to retire, who are the grandchildren of my first clients. Talk about aging myself. It's meant so much to me to be able to guide multiple generations through some of life's biggest decisions and milestones. And as I approach my next milestone, there is no one I trust more to take care of you than Amanda, Megan, and the rest of our incredible team. It's a team you can always count on.
So, Lynn, one of the things I love about that video is that you were very honest in the video. Hey, it's been difficult to record this. I've done several takes. Tell me how it was getting through that script.
I still cry when I watch that video. But Danielle knows I cry easily, but I still cry because you develop such a close relationship with these people that you've known for, more than half of my life. I've known these people. I know their kids. I know their grandkids. I know their struggles. I know their family dynamics. So it's been really a challenge to step back and not be involved in their lives. But what I love is that the next generation, like truly, I had lunch yesterday with those children of my first clients whose kids are getting close to retirement. It's time. And they were talking, and we had a candid conversation about the next generation and the tools that are available to the next generation and how things have changed and technology's changed. And it is time. It's both time for my young associates to step up, which they have, and I'm very proud of. But it's also time for me to have my own time in life.
And if I remember correctly, because we knew it was going to be a little harder, the very beginning of the video, we actually shot last, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Did that help you?
That was brilliant, because I know I would have cried right out of the box and it would have ruined the rest of the take. So it was really smart to set it up that way.
Another thing that I think is great about your video from a business perspective is obviously a lot about this is reassuring clients, right? So you spend a good deal of your time in the video paving the way for your successors and making sure that your clients are comfortable for what's coming next. Tell me how important that was and how that process has gone for you.
Yeah, that has been critically important. And I've had a variety of responses to the video. A lot of it, and most of it right out of the box, was, that's great news. You've worked so hard. You deserve this. You've helped me get to where I can retire. So I'm really happy for you. And then I've gotten, oh no, you can't go. I think literally we had one client say, I would like to die before you retire. But the good news is Megan, who's her primary, she now goes to Megan for all her questions, all her concerns. It used to be, Megan, will you talk to Lynn about this? Now she doesn't even mention my name. She goes directly to Megan. So it's taken a little bit of time, and different clients have had different responses, and I've had to react differently to the clients. For example, yesterday I did have to meet with clients that were kind of resistant to let go of me, but truly we've been together a long time. And at lunch, the gentleman said to Amanda, Lynn has been taking care of my family for 40 years. And he didn't want to let go. And I don't either. So the next time they have lunch, I want to go. But there is the time that my successors have to be their primary point of contact so that I can enjoy my own retirement.
Some advisors really rip the Band-Aid off. You are slowly peeling.
It's painful. Yeah, it's
that Band-Aid off.
But it's easier now. But yes, I don't think I could have ripped the Band-Aid off. I'm glad, and I'm also glad that I have had an opportunity to see how my successors are handling things. I'll call them on a Monday and say, what do you need? They'll say, we got this. I needed that confidence to see how they would handle things as they came up, so I could feel comfortable.
Well, I am going to put all of the advisors who are with us today on the spot and have you open up your chat at the bottom. And I would love to hear your reaction to Lynne's video message, because if you've been on the AVA before, and most of you have, you know that we usually show you a little clip of a video because video is not great to share in Zoom. The audio sync gets a little off, but in this situation with Lynne's message, we thought it was going to be really valuable for you to see the whole thing, and all that she included in the messaging. So drop in the chat for me your impression, how that video made you feel. And Lynne, you said the reaction, the feedback from clients was positive, but you did mention the 100-year-old lady down the street.
Yeah, there are some people that kind of just don't get it, and they needed more reassurance. And I could have done a second video shortly after, or within a reasonable period of time, or a follow-up, even hard copy letter. I think both, maybe a video and a hard copy letter would have worked. We did send cards in the mail to make sure everybody knew who the team was. We sent a little contact list, and I've actually been in clients' homes and I've seen this up on their refrigerator. You know, they've got our name and our phone numbers. So this was helpful, but there were some clients that were just confused, and I got some calls. I snowbird now, so in Florida, people would call me and say, "Where are you? And what are you doing? And when really is your retirement?" So there could have been a follow-up to the video that was a little more geared to those people that didn't respond positively right away.
Well, Lynne, I want to read you some of the feedback if you don't have chat open. I love the raw, heartfelt emotion. You can tell you're sincere. Personal pictures hit home. It's honest. It's a great way for the team as well as the clients to get your news. Great video, very powerful and emotional. It would have been hard for me to get through that script. You lived that. Now, the point of this AVA is not just to say, Lynne, you did a fantastic job with this video. It's to also talk about kind of that broader communication strategy and when the best timing is. So I wanted to share a timeline we built. Lynne's video for retirement is not the only retirement advisor video we have done. The guy featured here is Dave Weissert, who retired in late 2022. And I did an interview with Dave to ask him about his retirement strategy, communication strategy, and he told me he thought he made a big mistake. And it was this. He started by telling clients one-on-one, and he started in client meetings with his favorite people. Well, it turns out his favorite people also had relatives and neighbors who were clients, but they didn't hear the news firsthand from him. They heard the news from his favorite clients who he told personally first. And before he had a chance to get to the rest of his client roster, those friends and family had picked up the phone and given everybody else the news. So instead of hearing it from Dave, they heard it from other people. And he thought that was not ideal. He created, this was in retrospect, what he said would have been an ideal timeline for him. And it was starting to introduce your team to your clients 2 years out. And we're going to talk more about this with Lynne. And 6 months out, when the date is set, sending out the retirement video and a letter kind of simultaneously. Then there's the retirement party, which I think is up for some debate because you may not feel like you want a retirement party. And we're going to talk to Lynne about that in a second. But in many ways, the retirement party is not just for you. And then probably the beach scene is overused, but there you are, kicking it in retirement. So Lynne, you have shared with me a sketch, a drawing of your own. That wasn't exactly the timeline you followed, right?
No, you know, and I will stress to those of you that are on this call that are thinking about retirement, it's not, we are planners. You have to plan for this. And it took me 3 iterations of a team to find the right team. So that took years to find your successor. You just don't go to the grocery store and pull successor off the shelf. So it took me a long time to do that. So give yourself an opportunity to kick the tires with the successor. Then introducing the successors to the client base, I had a very, very complex graph and strategy to do that. So this is my strategy. It's very complex. It's a rectangle. Okay. And when I met with clients, it was me mostly with the clients, and I introduced Amanda down here just as a little part of this meeting. She was there to observe, to take notes, to barely participate. And each time I met with the clients, Amanda took a little greater role. And Amanda now has the largest share of the client meeting. She has all of the client meeting, but I gradually introduced over a period of a couple of years. It was probably more like 3 years, although Amanda's been on my team for 12. So it's a little bit slowly rather than jumping in the swimming pool, straight away. And I think that was not a surprise to the clients when they saw that Amanda was going to be the successor, Amanda and Megan. So we slowly introduced them over time. And I feel that that was as a respectful way to introduce them to the clients and not just see ya, the Band-Aid.
Well, let's talk about that, the big party, the Hasta La Vista. I interviewed Dave about this. Dave was giddy about his retirement party. His team at the office had gotten a band that played covers of, I think it was the Eagles, his favorite band. And he was just so excited. He was planning the speech he was going to be giving. He was also making sure his successors had a role in that, in kind of delivering the message to the audience. Lynne, what was your thinking about putting a retirement party on the calendar?
Yeah, my team and I have been kind of back and forth on this and struggling. I originally said no party. I don't want a party. I don't want to be the center of attention. I don't want it to be like a wedding reception where you have a 2-second not meaningful conversation with anybody and everybody. I just don't want to do it. And then I had a conversation with a few people and I realized this isn't about me. This is about the clients and helping assure the successful transition. And I realized this is my last opportunity to show the clients how much I trust this team. It's one big happy hug that I'm so glad that I have this team to take care of these clients that I love. And I don't want to do it, but I will do it. I will do it for the clients and for the team. And I think it's the best way to get everybody to understand the transition and how I want it to go smoothly and how much I trust the people that I've left in charge.
December 31st of this year,
yes,
is the official retirement date, right?
If you ask the team, they'd say I'm pretty retired now, but yes, that is the official date.
Are you planning the party for before that or after?
Oh, not after that. It will be before. Yeah.
And let me ask you, since we have an audience of advisors who are here because they're going to be going through this themselves, what would you say was your biggest mistake going through the process? If you go back and do it again, what would you change?
I think there could have been a better second communication sooner about how this is really working. Because I think some clients were, it didn't help that we were in a pandemic. It didn't help that, we were doing mostly remote work. But clients, some of the older clients didn't really get what it meant for us to transition. They thought some people sent me retirement gifts right away. I mean, I got a bottle of scotch. I got some good stuff right away. And then others think that I'm still working full time. I think a second communication was my biggest misstep, not doing a second communication sooner.
In that first communication, was there a clear cut, hey, this is the date, December 31st, 2023?
There was not, and we left it a little ambiguous that I'll be around for a couple of years.
And some people deal really well with ambiguity, and some people really want a line in the sand.
Yeah.
What would you say was your biggest success, the thing that worked that you would advise all of these advisors to follow in your footsteps?
The right successors, to have people that you really trust. And I can sit down with the clients and say, this team is going to manage my portfolio. I'm really retiring. I don't want to keep up on the direction of interest rates or PE ratios or betas. I want Amanda and Megan to read the white papers. So I can tell my clients that, in all honesty, that these are people that I trust. And if you've trusted me for 40 years, I think you should trust them. So choosing successors, but I really think telling everybody at the same time that video, which was Amanda's idea, because I'm old school and I didn't think that I could do a video. I didn't think I had the technical ability or the skill to do it. But Amanda said, let's make sure everybody hears it at the same time, because if you build a practice over 40 years, half of my clients are related to each other in some way, shape, or form. They're cousins, second cousins, uncles, aunts, children, grandchildren. And there was no way I was going to be able to make the phone calls to get to everybody in a timely fashion. So I really thought the medium was excellent. That was probably the best, that having the right successors and that communication, I'm really proud of.
Lynne, I'm interested in how you prepared to shoot the video. We've talked about how emotional it was for you. And a lot of advisors go through that, not necessarily in a retirement message, but any kind of really personal message to them. How would you advise others to kind of mentally prepare for that?
Yeah, I'm old school. I'm practice, practice, practice. So I literally read that script over and over again aloud, cried multiple times, made my wife sit and listen to me give that presentation multiple times. So that was how I felt. I knew the words, but your coaching was terrific of, I talk with my hands, and that's not great for video, right? So your coaching really helped me pull off a decent video, and I'm so grateful. But I did practice it a lot before I gave the speech.
Danielle Page dropped in the chat, are you doing your retirement party on the football field in Ann Arbor?
Oh, the great idea. 101,000 people. Funny thing, Danielle, I probably cold called all of the people that could fit into that stadium.
That's what I envisioned.
A nearly 40-year career. One last question, and this one really doesn't have anything to do with communication strategy. And it's this, Lynne, this was a 3-year transition by my calculations. Tell us this year and then over the course of the last couple of years, like what has that change in the amount of time you're spending focused on work been? Like that first year, were you at about 80% and then you stepped it down to 40, and are you at 20 now? How did that work for you?
Yeah, if we look at this as a 3-year plan, that very first year, I pretty much was all hands on deck. I still wanted to be involved, and that was probably my choice, not the team's choice, but I wanted to be involved. I wanted I wanted to be there, but they were giving the recommendations. They were doing the presentations. But I wanted to be there pretty much full time. Year number 2, January of 2022, I think I dropped down to 3 days, and we could schedule meetings and that I would be there. But if a client wanted to meet sooner than my calendar allowed, it gave the clients an opportunity to meet one-on-one with my successors if they wanted a more immediate response. And I think pretty much through 2022, I was 2 to 3 days. Now I plug in on Mondays. I ask them if they need me for anything. I pretty much am just a consultant and help with any bumps along the road. If clients still need a little bit of hand holding, a little bit of encouragement, I'm available to do that. But pretty much, I would say I'm not plugged in this year.
A stair-step approach. I love it.
Yeah.
Well, there is no retirement playbook. There is no one way to do this. Lynne, thank you so much for being here with us today and sharing your insight from your experience. We wish you the very best beyond December 31st, 2023. You'll be stepping into a whole new realm. And I would love to invite everyone to our next ADA in June. I can't believe I'm saying June. How to get more clients in the door. This is about building an engaged audience. Chrissy Smith is our special guest from Congruence Agency. So mark your calendars for June 14th. Same time, same place. And your quote for the day is, your primary focus as a communicator is not to make sure people get what you're saying, it's to make sure they feel what you're saying. And that's from our friend Deirdre Van Nest, an original, who is founder of Crazy Good Talks. And I chose this quote for you today because Lynne made me feel something watching her video. I know she made you feel something too. And we very much appreciate you sharing your story with us, Lynne.
My pleasure.